Lord. Okay. Hi there. I figured I should give an update as something really cool came in and chatted to my little peeps. Um, as you know, that normally when I make one of these updates, I kind of stick to the point and give a talk about what's going on in the apocalypse world and what I'm publishing and everything. But today I'm also going to talk about the Addams Family. Oh, what? She does more than work all the time. Oh my god. Yeah. Uh, Finally, the other night, the husband and I watched the latest Addams Family movie, the cartoon. And, well, it's not really a cartoon in my mind. The 3D animation. It took me a while to work up to see this. I know it's relatively old as far as movies go already, but it took me a while to work my way up to see this. You see, when I was younger, I used to religiously watch the Addams Family and the Munsters every day. Didn't matter if it was a rerun, didn't matter if I'd seen it a billion times. It was on public television. I was coming home after school and I was parking my butt down and I didn't have time for friends, for playing, mud pies. No, it was all Addams Family and the Munsters. I really admired Morticia, and between her and the Catwoman, I just wanted to play or be one of them. It was just the pinnacle of my life. So when the movies, the original movie, well, not the original movies, they weren't very original, the other, when the first movies came out umpteen years ago, I actually was a little annoyed because although Gomez was okay and Uncle Fester was good and they did a pretty good job with Cousin It, Morticia wasn't Morticia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Morticia was not Morticia. I'm not going to edit this film to show you, so you're just going to have to look it up yourself between the original Morticia and then the second Morticia. And I'm not saying the second Morticia didn't do a bad job, but the movie was funny. The movie's very enjoyable. I will watch it, but it wasn't the Addams Family, if you know what I mean. They really played up a lot of things. They played up a lot of things in the Addams Family, you know, masochism and masochism tango. So that it was a great movie. I loved it. But when I go back to the ones that I grew up loving and watching, you know, it's just the spirit. I think that's the way I'm trying to say. The spirit wasn't the same. And although I've enjoyed them, the spirit wasn't the same. So I have been introducing the original Addams Family to the other half, and then I finally worked up enough desire to see the movie. There are those of you out there who absolutely love this movie. You absolutely love this movie. You think it's great. You think, you know, here's my original turn off with the latest Addams Family 3D thing. I didn't like the character designs. That will turn me off. I mean, it's kind of like with the whole drama that happened with Sonic the Hedgehog. You can fuck up, you know. So I didn't like the character designs. I knew they were caricatures, and if you look at Little Wednesday from way back, it does look like her forehead's pretty up there. But they weren't enjoyable to look at. That was my biggest turn off. And I know that things are going to be modernized. Things are going to be updated. I know that. So when we started to watch the movie, my first remarks were literally, well, Gomez is Gomez, kind of, at least. And then it was, hey, that's definitely Uncle Fester. And yet Morticia did not get the same respect. You know, she just didn't. She was a good Morticia, but she was very dark and droll and, dare I say it, a little bigoted. And Morticia, the old Morticia, the original, except no imitations, Morticia, in the season, in the you know, the very first episode of the Addams Family, which I have forgotten what that's called now that I need to know. She's kind of bubbly. Oh, yeah, sure, she cuts the heads off the roses, and yeah, sure, she's got a man-eating plant, and that's her baby. But she's very bubbly, and oh, well, all dragons deserve to eat a virgin once in their life. Um, and she's got this expressive way around her about her. Uh, Yet she's ladylike. She's not droll. She's not depressed. I mean, even when it comes to something depressing, like, oh, that decay, smell that decay in the air. No, it'll be, ah, the sweet smell of decay. Gomez, my darling, mi amor. You know, and it was the second Morticia who was droll. And so it was like they kind of modeled the model after the first Morticia, but not really. And it was like they blended the two Morticias, and so everyone else gets to be who they are, but Morticia doesn't get to be who she is. And in the first episode, unlike in the movie, in the very, very first one, it was Morticia that encouraged the kids to go to school, and Gomez, who was against it and unsure because he didn't want the children to leave. He was going to have empty nest syndrome. It was going to tear his world apart. Which would have been the female sentiment from way back then, but understand that the Addams Family were a reverse copy of what was considered the normal American family at the time. They are a product of their times, you know. And it was Pugsley who went mainstream and joined the Cub Scouts, and the Addams Family did not know what to do with that. And one thing I noticed is that these people, once in the original show, once they were confronted with this darker side of life, this mirror image of themselves, sometimes they came out a little disturbed, but always they ended up doing something to better themselves. There was, well, not all, well, maybe there wasn't always, but it just seems and feels like it was always they seemed to better themselves, like the psychiatrist that helped Pugsley find his inner darkness back again without realizing that's what he was doing. Went off to go back to school and carry on and found a new path. It seems that nowadays it's when you meet the Addams Family, you don't find a new path while still being true to yourself. If you are indeed the sweater, Mr. Rogers kind of guy, you just kind of end up assimilated. Which, in the movie, I guess, when I saw the town's name was Assimilation, I thought, well, that's appropriate, just not in the way I'm sure they meant it. So, I'm not happy with the latest. But it's my prerogative to not be happy. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. And I'm actually very disappointed to see that my misgivings proved true. But I guess that just shows I know a lot about mainstream Hollywood more than I used to. The story in the movie was typical. Boring and typical. So boring. So typical. So, oh God. Yeah. So, pretty disappointed by the Addams Family. You're welcome to defend it if you like. So now for the real reason why I am here today. I'm going to talk about the RBT game, which, if you are just discovering me, the RBT game is a role-playing game that goes with the world that my comics Akashic and the Heavenly Bride is set in. I had created it because I wanted a role-playing system to plot out fights with. Yes, I wanted to play with my comic. And we decided that we were going to add playing cards to go with the system. Now, the first pack of playing cards has been out for a few days, and I let it be pay what you want, and a lot of people got it. So I know there are players out there, and I'm really glad to know that there are players out there. The pack is no longer play what you want. You can get the rule book for pay what you want, which is basically free if you so wish, at DriveThruRPG. You can also go to www.akashiconline.com. I will link below. If you so desire, and there's a page dedicated to the rules, but they're not as up to date as the book. And I will link the DriveThruRPG site as well. You can get that for free. But the cards, on the other hand, are just a supplement. You absolutely do not have to have them for the game. They're just going to be something fun that I make from time to time because, you know, it's just something to do. The cards I had decided while I was developing them, the first pack, would have information on perhaps something in the how in the world works or just something about a character. And I just got my first prototypes today, and that's why I'm here. So I wanted to show you. So let's see if we can get this crappy cheap little camera. It's an old camera, so I'm not very good at this. See if it'll focus. Will it focus? Will it focus? Will it focus? No. Focus on camera by the power of Ra. Newt. Oh, that's not working. By the power of the beholder, I command thee to focus. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Well, you can kind of see. I'm very pleased with the quality. I was a little concerned. Whoops! I was a little concerned. Ooh. Can you read them upside down? About whether they were going to be dark and you couldn't see the detail, and I was worried that they would not be readable, and they are. I'm thinking in the future cards, I'm not going to redo the ones that are out now, but in future cards I might make this a little smaller if I have more to say on that card. If. I'm pleased with them, and these are Fred Cyber Eye. One thing I have already changed is the backs. The circle is supposed to be a bit more circular, and so I had already fixed that after this particular little batch was ordered. Darling, so I have another batch coming, and I will show them off where I had the entire set printed to make sure that they are indeed nice looking. And I wanted to show them to you. Now, these particular cards, if I still have them in my possession and conventions ever go back up again, you will be able to grab these for free off my table. But overall, the PDF so that you can print your own and print copies of the cards will be at Drive-Thru RPG. I believe I am selling the first 8 card pack for a measly $2. And of course, every dime, if you play the game and you want the cards, every dime you spend helps me to be able to make more, because no funds means no time for me to create, and it means less fun goodies for you. So anyway, let me show you one last time. Wait, that was not cool. That was like, I don't know what the heck was up with that. Let me fix that. Much better. Here we go. You can tell my grandmother taught me how to handle cards, right? Okay, one more time. Okay, I'm gonna go. The Addams Family. Wow, I feel like I wasted a lot of time of my life.